Aaron Brown, Harry Wampler Weather, King Cody Sports, and Nightside reporter Melanie Granford. This is Western Washington's most watched late-night news. Eyewitness News at 11.
Good evening again. Somewhere the Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur, are smiling tonight. The round-the-world nonstop flight of Voyager is over. Its next flight will be to a spot in the Smithsonian alongside the other legends of aviation. It was one of those special moments of accomplishment and joy for the tired crew and the ground controllers who'd worked and worried for the 9 days and 4 minutes of the flight. Here's reporter David Dow.
Voyager and its crew appeared in the California skies after surviving one final bump on their route to history. A fuel pump problem that shut down the rear engine and left them dropping without power for 5 minutes until pilot Dick Rutan finally restarted both engines.
The gear is down and locked.
Thousands lined the lake bed at Edwards Air Force Base to cheer them in. A chase pilot counted feet.
3 feet, 2 feet, 1 foot. Congratulations, Dick. You really did it, boy.
Around the world in 9 days and about 4 minutes, in a cabin so tiny that for the weary crew, just getting out was a major feat.
How does one feel after spending 9 days in an airplane?
Like a shower. After physical exams, they reappeared to tell of other threats to their flight. Fuel problems, storms over the Pacific and Africa, the battle against fatigue.
Like anything, it's always a lot more difficult than you ever imagine. And like we've said from the beginning, if it had been easy, we'd done it a long time ago.
As it was 6 years from dream to reality.
I don't know that I'd do it again if I had the opportunity. But I'm sure glad I had the opportunity to do it once.
Though it was the end of an adventure, Voyager's developers hope their technology will find its way into other civilian and military planes. For Voyager itself, there's the possibility of at least one more flight to the Smithsonian Museum in Washington to join other pioneering aircraft. David Dow, CBS News, Edwards Air Force Base, California.
Isn't that something? This is aviation country up here, and so you can bet the folks at Boeing were following Voyager's landing. But Boeing had its own success to celebrate as well today, a $300 million contract from the Air Force to develop an ICBM missile launcher. This is the model. The real thing could earn Boeing $2.5 billion if President Reagan gets the 500 missiles he wants from Congress. And a project that costs a bundle could cost a bundle more as well, as 150 steel beams at Seattle's Convention Center are cracked, and they will have to be repaired. No one knows what caused the cracks, and no word yet on how much the center will cost after the repairs are made. The Convention Center is scheduled to open in the spring of 1988. The congressional committees investigating the Iran-Contra arms scandal have finished their work for now. The hearings won't end until the new Congress convenes in January and the two select committees begin their work. President Reagan today asked the Senate Intelligence Committee to send him its report so it can be released to the public.
To be sure, that report will not have all the answers, but it will be the most complete statement available. And I call on the committee to release it so the American people can judge for themselves.
Reagan did say the report would have to be cleansed of all classified material. And on Capitol Hill today, retired General Richard Secord, a key player in the Contra money diversion part of this scam, refused to talk, claiming his Fifth Amendment rights. No surprise there. And doctors at the Georgetown Medical Center confirmed what had been suspected, that the cancer found in the brain tumor removed from CIA Director William Casey is more serious than first indicated. More treatment will be needed. The prognosis here is iffy, as is Casey's return to his desk. Casey's eventual testimony is considered crucial to investigators, especially on the issue of what the president knew and when he might have known it. And it is not at all clear tonight if that testimony will ever occur. If the Soviet government thought that dissident Andrei Sakharov had learned his lesson after 5 years, make that 7 years in internal exile, it was wrong. Sakharov arrived back in Moscow to a mob of reporters who immediately asked the Nobel Prize winner about human rights. He mourned those dissidents who have died in labor camps.
My thoughts have grown more tense and more tragic, because who will die next? This is not permissible for our country.
Sakharov has never been short on courage, and his government never long on patience. A standoff, it would seem, with the entire world watching. We have much more to tell you about tonight. A recall for a car and a candy bar. We'll give you the details. And this is about the worst thing that could happen if you're a retailer. A power outage in the shopping district 2 days before Christmas. and a scene at the airport that could catch travelers by surprise. We'll have the details when we come back.
The spirit of the Northwest is KIRO. We're part of your life every day. Getting to know you and sharing your dreams. Together we work and we play. We're working together. And that's good news. We're getting together. KIRO and you. We'll always be right beside you, helping each other as we grow. Real lives and dreams, sharing the pride. Together as far as we can go. We're working together. And that's good news. We're getting together. KIRO and you.
Shelley Saunders, KIRO News Radio employee and volunteer for a United Way agency.
I grew up in a family where I always had my mother and lots of sisters to spend time with, and I've seen little girls in this program that don't have that. Sometimes we just have fun together, and sometimes I'm giving serious life advice. I would recommend Big Sisters to any woman. It's real unique and real rewarding.
We're working together. KIRO, United Way, and you.
If you spot a drunk on the road, call 1-800-22-DRUNK. If you drink too much, call Care Cab. And keep our streets safe for the holidays.
Financial advisor Dave Williams answers your money questions tomorrow at 4:30.
The federal government is requesting, not ordering, but requesting a call of roughly 250,000 Audi 5000 cars. The government told Volkswagen, the manufacturer, that a safety problem may exist, and indeed it may. There have been an estimated 400 accidents and hundreds of injuries in Audi 5000s with automatic transmissions. The cars suddenly accelerate when shifted into gear. Drivers say the car's to blame. Audi says the drivers.
The problem is with the car, not the drivers, but Audi is attempting to pass off the problem on to the owners that we think the Department of Transportation has given Audi a little Christmas present here.
VW officials say this sudden acceleration problem is industry-wide, not just in their cars, and anyway, it's already making some of the modifications the government is calling for. But the company says it sticks to its belief that there is nothing mechanically wrong with the Audi 5000. And Nabisco, the makers of Baby Ruth candy bars, is planning a voluntary nationwide recall. Tests show 5 batches of the Baby Ruth candy bars are contaminated with salmonella bacteria. Nabisco says customers with Baby Ruth candy bars can take them back to the store for a refund. Lights are back on in Chicago tonight, but for much of the day the power was out there in the main shopping district. Another reason, we guess, for not putting your shopping off to the last minute. It's tough to do business when there's no electricity. And so today the bakers baked by candlelight and cooled the pastries out of doors in the morning air. All of this on the last full shopping day before Christmas, one of the busiest of the year. The problem was caused by a short circuit at a substation caused by fog, of all things. So in the high-rises, the elevators weren't working. People were walking all those flights of stairs today. 100,000 homes affected, and several million people were caught in the mess during a very troubled morning commute in Chicago. All of which makes any travel complaints we have around here during this holiday season negligible. Trains, buses, and planes are mostly full tonight. People trying to get to Grandma's house for Christmas will get there. All of this is a joyride compared to last year's mess. Last year, the holiday commute was made especially miserable by fog. By comparison, Christmas Travel 86 is almost too good to be true. Melanie Grandforce reports.
At SeaTac tonight, the masses of holiday travelers are well on their way. Unlike last year, most will make it by Christmas Eve. Today, departures and arrivals have been on schedule. No delays, no doldrums for people eager to be with loved ones for the holidays.
Ladies and gentlemen, this time we invite passengers seated in rows 50.
One thing you notice is fewer business people and lots more happy reunions.
How's holiday traveling been for you?
Well, it's been very easy. I expected it to be a nightmare, but it hasn't been.
It's holiday busy, but things are going quite well. There are no major delays. We'd ask people to cut early to expect some delays waiting in line, but flights are leaving on time.
The worst problems so far have been in the airport parking garage, where the sheer number of cars caused a once-a-year slow-up over the weekend. Parking attendants are keeping traffic moving better tonight, and airport officials are trying to discourage long-term parking on the ramps. Weather in Seattle and over most of the country is quite mild and expected to stay that way. There isn't even much snow predicted outside of Alaska, and that's helping keep travel hassle-free this year.
After all the hustle and bustle of the holiday season here at the airport, we're told that Christmas Day is the slowest day of the year. In fact, the airport manager said that on Christmas, you could practically roll a bowling ball down this hallway and you wouldn't hit anyone. Melanie Grandforce, KIRO, Eyewitness News.
Now what? Somebody tomorrow will go out there and roll a bowling ball down there and get arrested, right? And we'll get blamed for it? You're sort of a hero this year compared to last year. There was Christmas and snow Thanksgiving.
It was a mess.
Yeah.
It really was a mess. I have here a list, Aaron, which is this is a list of forecasts for cities around the country. And as you can see, it's not only as long as my arm, it's as long as a couple of them. But the important thing to point out here is Thursday's weather, Christmas Day. There isn't a single one of the major cities on this list forecasting snow for Christmas Day. Now, that doesn't mean it isn't already on the ground some places, you know, but it's interesting that this year doesn't appear to be very white anywhere in the country. And I'll tell you what our weather is going to be like in 2 minutes.
Like this.
Like this.
Now play.
Now play. The game next Saturday, Myrtle Beck.
When everything says you can't,
Bravo.
believe in the part of you that says you can.
Start you on Saturday. And don't be late.
From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
To succeed in this high-technology world takes education and training. If you're in school, school. Take the hard subjects, mathematics, physics, the sciences. Work hard and graduate. Then find out what the Air Force has to offer. Training and education at the forefront of today's technology. The Air Force helps prepare young men and women to face the future and succeed. Aim high, Air Force.